Well, you are very successful. You have you earned several Maverick awards. That's MAVRIC awards. Best overall song of 2000, best rock song of 2007, 2007.
Yeah, 2007.
And best vocal of 2008. So what song was the best rock song of 2007?
That was
Pretty Boy. Off of Make It Mine.
Oh, okay. What kind of feel was that? Was it just
I was angry. So I was really angry, so I wrote an angry rock song, and that's what it became.
Interesting. So a lot of the passion comes out in the music, you know, whatever's going on that day, that week, that month, or whatever.
Pretty Boy came together over several years. It was one of those that I'd had sort of the verse in mind, or the melody for that in mind for a while, and then I had a chorus, and then years later I put a guitar part to it, and finally we made a song out of it.
Well, what was the song about? What was it about?
The guy that is just the pretty boy that thinks they're better than everyone else because of this or that, a bunch of superficial stuff that they thought elevated them up, and that's like these hollow people that because they drive the nice car or they've got the nice girlfriend or the nice house, whatever, they look down on everyone else.
Well, yeah, now a lot of songs are written off of something that inspires them. So what inspired you to write? Was it something that, you know, you just had enough of that whole...
I was in college at the time.
Oh, okay.
And, well, between high school and college is when I wrote all the lyrics. It takes me forever to do anything.
Okay.
But,
It's taken him a long time to write songs.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, I know that, you know, producing music, and, you know, myself, I've done some tracks and things like that, and I produce music on the record labels. I know that you could write... You know, you could do half the tracks a day, and you just got to get away from it for like a day or two, and then come back to it.
Right.
Because you may, like, you know what, let me move this over into another measure, or let me move this note over here. I don't like the way that sounds. Or even when you're writing music, you know, after that, and you start hearing lyrics, not all the lyrics, but you maybe hear a couple lyrics here and there. You're like, okay, you got to take a couple of days off and come back to it. So I totally get it. They're all masterpieces. Whatever you're creating, it's all a masterpiece.
Right.
You know. So how long you guys are? Of course, you guys are rehearsing today. How long are your rehearsals? Usually, typically, what are these? How
typically, we usually do about 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours, because when it's all original material, there's no roadmap. There's nothing that says this is okay. Like if you're doing a bunch of cover songs, someone else has already done all the work for you. All you have to do is just try and duplicate that. I'm not saying that the musicianship isn't as difficult, if not more, in some cases. So sometimes you do have to really practice these songs and get it to sound just like the album or whatever. But when you're doing original material, there's a lot of like
Dare say goofing around.
It is, because you're trying. Yeah, there's a good deal of that, and just you're talking. You have to talk through songs and like, well, what should we do, or maybe we should try this, or taking old songs and trying to reinvent them. And
that's a big part of it too. Is we need to stay relevant. We need to keep
always trying
keep
to
our
be
live
fresh.
show going.
Well,
We got to keep the audience guessing. So
your 2009 Random Acts of Blindness album. What did you want your audience to feel from that? Out of everything you just telling me now, what was it you're trying to, you know?
Our live show.
We were trying to get our live sound down, and that Random Acts was pretty much done live. There wasn't a whole lot of overdubbing with that one. We just nailed a couple of takes and then picked the best one. And
do you usually go back to listen to your music and say, you know what, that's...
all the time. We have to not do that.
You know what's cool about this thing is that, you know, and I'm a big stickler on this thing, it's like, you know, original music.
Yeah.
I love original music, and you guys do original music. I can't, you know, I have a big beef with these people out there, and I'm guilty of it. I did it, you know, I rewrote, you know, redid a song. And I, you know, it's like, let me get away from that. And I think that's what's great about you guys. You guys are doing original music. And the biggest problem out there we're having with the industries out there is these A&R cats just don't get it. It's just, you know, want to redo what was already there. But the music that they're redoing and remixing, those people who created the music back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, they weren't redoing. It was fresh.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's what's really, really cool about that. And I really hope a lot of people get it, what you guys are, you know, doing, your original. Yeah. And that's very, very important. I'm very passionate about that because like I said, I just can't stand the remixes of that stuff like that. I think you can take elements from it and write a new paper, so to speak.
What I think it keeps a lot of bands down is that they don't remix their own stuff in a way. We were watching the U2 concert, the one that just came out on DVD, the big with the Claw, the 360 tour, and they have stuff that they did from their first albums that they'll rework a little bit, they'll change a little bit, and from all their...
Just feels
But
very
that's okay.
fresh.
But that's
what
okay
we're saying,
because
but
that's
a lot
original from when they
that's
started.
That's
Exactly.
what we're saying. A lot of bands don't
A lot
do
of
that.
bands
They
don't do that with their stuff.
They just play their own, even their own stuff the same every time. It's like just you have to reinvent yourself.
Right.
Every couple years, you got to take a look at what, like, okay, and
You got to take risks. You got to
Would
do...
you?
Yeah.
Would you rather you guys remix your own music,
Yeah.
or would you mind somebody else remixing your own music?
As long as, whatever.
I mean, there's a fight,
depends on how it's done.
Right.
You
I don't know. I just think
don't know. As long as the music's getting heard and out there, if somebody wants to hear it in a different way than we made it.
If Pretty Boy speaks better to someone as a country song than as a rock song, and they want to do it that way, God bless them.
It's a totally different perspective when people want to do. Yeah, sure, go ahead, remix it, man. I want everybody to hear
We
it.
have
But
a
then if
friend's
it's me,
band,
I'm like, I don't
like-
want to remix your music. I want to do my own thing.
There's a band in town. They're called Vertigo Blend, and they cover one of our songs. They cover one of our original songs when they do their show.
Oh.
And it's a better version of it than when ours is like, I don't know, it's got a country vibe, but it's like bluegrassy kind of whatever. They do like a full country version of it, and they do like a breakdown section in the middle with a cappella, and it's so beautiful. And we're just like, oh, that sounds way better than ours.
Well, you guys I think you guys are singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
If you look at it, so basically that's excellent. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Music, so you look at that from that perspective.
They asked us, like, can we do this song? We're like, yeah,
Please.
that's awesome.
Well, now, Jesse, in our past conversation, you mentioned your reasons, real briefly, you mentioned your reasons for following your passion.
Yeah.
And then, Jared, you can chime in too if you want to. Your passion in music, and then you left the college degree.
Yeah, I got it.
Tell me more about simply just going for it. And Jared, you can add in also too with the sing, because you guys came together with this thing.
We both, it's a different story, but to the same end, which is just, like, I did the whole college thing. I got the degree, then I got home, and I just said, this isn't what I want. I don't want to teach, or I don't even want to do acting anymore. I love performing, but my degree was in musical theater. And at that time, I was just so done pretending to be other people. I wanted to be myself, which I think is the hardest role we play anyway. But, like, in order to do that, I had to just go for it. I had to 100% commit to what I wanted. And my mother said, fine, I'll back you up on this, as long as every day you do something towards your goal. You go forward every day. That doesn't every day you're going to have, like, falls where you go back 10 steps or whatever, but as long as you're fighting for that, and Jared did the same thing, but he just left everything. He left his whole life.
Now you were already you're a little bit heavy. You came 2000.
I was just I've always been in an entertainment family, so I didn't really stray that far away from what I knew growing up. And I mean, both of my parents were musicians. They met. They had a band together, and I grew up just in. My parents would bring me into bars while they were playing, and so my whole life has sort of been formed around being on stage, being around other musicians and actors and such. Jared's whole family,
they were big,
completely
big
different. All business,
educational, business kind of deal.
I understand.
And so when I told him I'm dropping out of college to be a musician,
not just a musician, but a rock star.
You'll get banned.
Oh,
you get banned from the whole East Coast. They're like, unless you go to New York, but then it's a whole other thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They ask, is it drugs? Are you on drugs?
Yeah.
No. Well, kind of.
Yeah, I totally understand.
It was funny. Yeah.
And then same kind of deal. We just. I had to go for it, and then when I moved out to California, that was the big jump. Everyone was like, "Wow, he is serious about doing this."